All right, we just landed in Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, and we are headed over to see Sam Rankin today. He is with ANKENY Lawn and Landscape, and so we are going to be trying to help him get to the next level. There's a few things that he's been working on. He has about 4 employees right now, and he wants to get to the next level and figure out systems so that he can focus on the sales aspect of the business. So we're on our way to GIE. It's gonna be in Kentucky, but on the way we're gonna go here in Iowa, then Illinois, and then we'll head over to Louisville. But hopefully you can learn something today from Sam and the crew at ANKENY Lawn Care.
ANKENY's the 3rd fastest growing community under 100,000 in the country.
Wow.
I'm pretty, like, I think, might be under like 75,000.
Where are people moving from?
Everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, we went, when I moved here in 2000, I think it was at like 20,000 and now we're up to 60.
Wow.
So it's just like, my dad grew up here and he's like, this used to be the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And until like, we're right on the edge of town really. Yeah. So it's been, it's growing fast and it's great. Like we don't do anything outside of town. Mm-hmm. Our farthest drive is to the shop every day, and from here it's I think 11 minutes.
Oh wow.
Which not perfect, but yeah. Like land's out right. Like to find anywhere big enough to build a shop, it'd probably be $750,000.
Wow, yeah.
And that'd be for 5 acres.
Just because the zoning's hard, like to find.
Zoning's hard, and just land is. It's outrageous because everybody knows that in 5 years they're going to be 3 fields over. Right, like just the way it's expanding, everybody knows if they can hold on to their land a little longer that it's going to be worth more. So, so yeah, we do, I would say about 30 to 40% is on the northwest side here. The northeast side is where I got started. I was push mowing my neighbor's lawn. He had a lot over here. He's the general manager, owner of the place we get all of our hardscape materials from. Yep. Quick Supply Company. I don't know if you. It's all over apparently, but he's the GM of that, and he had a lot over here that I was mowing, and I was just mowing. Grass was like 1.5 feet tall. I was 15 years old, like just blowing through it. My mom's out there helping me pick up trash, and I mowed over an envelope, and I had gone like a week before to give quotes to everybody in that neighborhood. 2 people took them. Nothing going on. Like nobody said yes. And so I'm mowing and I hit an envelope and I literally just like looked like I took a pair of scissors, cut the end of it. And front of it was all washed off. It was Memorial Day. And I take the envelope like, I'm like, oh, I wonder who it's to. Like it was all wet from the winter. So I pull up what was inside of it and I look at the name and it was 2 checks for a total of $30,000 addressed to this one of the 2 guys who I gave a quote to. And I walk down there and his wife opens the door. And
from like, wait, was the check from like a year before?
3 months.
Oh wow.
So the mailman had lost it, and they had said that they had issues with, like, the mailman had lost stuff before, which, I mean, whatever, neither here nor there. But yeah, I take it down there and the wife answers the door and I was like, is your husband home? And she's like, yeah, what? Well, I'm his wife. And I was like, oh, I think I should talk to him. And so he comes up, and it was Memorial Day, and I was actually his intern a couple of years ago, and he told the story to everybody. He's like, yeah, I stumbled upstairs after a couple drinks and and I saw this kid was trying to give me money, and so I hired him on the spot. And that's how I really started a business. Like that was my first, and then I ended up.
So he hired you to do what?
Just to mow.
Oh, okay. So you had a landscaping business.
I just had mowed, like when I was 15, 16, like I had just one customer across the street.
Yeah.
And then this was like my first like real customer.
Got it.
And from there, they've been super influential. Like they've pushed my name to all the neighbors, everybody. And we used to see like 5 or 6 companies in this neighborhood, and it's by far the wealthiest neighborhood in town, and I think now there's myself, my buddy, who him and I kind of started mowing together and ended up splitting off from each other last year would have been the first year we were separate. Which was, him and I are still best friends. We just have different goals. He's an unreal golfer. Like, he's gonna turn pro, I'm pretty sure, and really good at what he does, but I just wanted to make a business. So are they at peak speed? Like, because I don't know if you were the same way, but like, first time I started turning lawns over to the guys and having them do it, I can do what they do, and like, I'm like a guy and a half or 2 guys almost. And I will sit there, I'm like, how? And I know it's because nobody's gonna care as much as me, and why should they? And I totally recognize that, like, aligning their incentives with their, like, aligning everything and the reasons they want to do what, like, I get that, but it's like, geez, come on, I shouldn't be able to do that much. Like, I'm old and slow at 23. But we're definitely learning. Like, it's a...
Have you thought about paid for performance stuff at all? Does it hurt your head?
It does. Like, the concept is great. Like, obviously it's really, really good. My thing is, like, it would just be one more thing to add to my plate that I don't want to worry about. Like, this year I was going to originally do a bonus that was X dollars at the beginning of the year. And every time we have to go redo a job, $6 an hour comes out of it. And the mileage, and and just to show them, like, hey, this money isn't free. I don't know if this was your idea or if I saw it somewhere else. Did you do this?
That's like the alternative way. I like to do where they're going up in terms of, like, pay for performance instead of being penalized. However, it's one way. It's an easier way to do it in terms of managing the system.
And Cole, completely fair point. He's like, I don't want to be held accountable for others' mistakes, and I said, well, we're a team. And that was my way of thinking at it, and, like, it didn't sit well with anybody. And I, as a boss, am definitely a pushover. I, like, not on some things, like things that, like, don't make a huge difference to me, but the guys really want, then I'm like, no problem. Like, we pay weekly. And we pay on Thursdays because the guys want to get the checks in on Friday. That was my buddy right there. He actually, that kid who was driving, was when he heard me on your podcast, he's like, yo, Mike made a podcast about your question. And I was like, real, like, I didn't even know. Like, you said, like, I was gonna answer it in, like, a video, and I was like, okay, like, I'll see it in the video. It'll probably be a short one, and then, like, you answer the whole podcast. My mom listened to it, like, everybody's listened to it. But he's like, yo, you have to. Oh, actually, he wanted me to ask you a question. Like, you want to professionalize, like, the landscape industry. Why? Like, why does that matter to you? Is one of the things he wanted to know.
Does he have a landscaping business?
Yep, he's got a smaller. Well, I guess he does 80 lawns a week. Most of them are subbed out to him. But yeah, he's a freshman in college. Like, works really hard, does a good job.
Yeah, there's a few different reasons. The first reason is, as you get to know more and more of the owners, and especially if you go to, like, a conference or something, you'll find out, like, the quality of the people are, like, the owners are awesome. They're great people, and, like, they just don't, a lot of them don't have the business side of things to back up their, number one, their skills in landscaping, but then secondarily, just the fact that they're great people. They have great hearts. They want to help their employees, give them opportunities. But at the end of the day, like, if we don't have a profitable business, we cannot give our employees more.
Correct.
Right? We can't bend to what they want or make them have better opportunities or pay them, whatever it is. And so the fundamental issue is that the employees want more, and in this labor market, you have to pay them more. And then the other side of that, the weight to that, is that you have to have a profit to pay that come out of, right? And so a lot of landscapers don't know the numbers. They don't accurately have a profit margin that is consistent. And then when they grow, it's unprofitable. It's just numbers and number of trucks and number of employees and customers. It's not an actual profitable business.
Correct.
Is that a real number right there?
Yep. That's pretty year to date. Like, I think I've got a couple checks I put in, so maybe it's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 off.
Okay. So that's your total labor.
Mm-hmm.
And is that coming out of your account, or is that?
That comes out of check account.
Does that include taxes though? Like the sales, payroll tax?
That's payroll tax through end of August.
Okay. So these are.
Those
this
are
is weekly,
Yep.
and this is for each employee?
Yep. It's not labeled per employee.
Got it. So they're not working 40.
We were, so like, average week is like 35 to 40.
All right.
Cole works the most, usually right in the last 3 weeks. I think you've been at like 40 to 45. Like when Cole leaves his house, he clocks in on his way up to the shop. The other guys, obviously, we usually meet actually here to start mowing and whatnot, and they don't get paid to
load up and everything?
Yeah, they don't.
So they start clocking in when they get to a job?
The guys start clocking, yeah, whenever they get to the job or wherever they're meeting.
And they use SA to clock in?
No, I actually just run a Google Sheet. That's been, because they don't
punch in and punch
Yep. There's a Google form that they punch in, punch out.
Okay.
So it's all like time stamped, but then like I just have them put in what time they actually started, because I know I would always forget.
So are you actually seeing this number?
In your bank account?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay. So where do you think that money is going?
A lot of it's gone to like assets. This year alone, we've picked up dump trailer, truck, 2 new trailers, 2 new, like 1 enclosed, 1 utility.
Okay. And did you pay cash for those?
Everything's paid cash.
Okay. So
yes.
where's your equipment on here?
It would be that's an asset, so it'd be depreciation.
Oh, so you just do it and then you roll it through that?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
Okay. And so are you on 5-year on all those for depreciation?
So last year we did I don't know what the accounting code is, but we took the full deduction on the Ram and on the black enclosed trailer, because I was planning originally on like making this a 2 to 3 year thing.
Okay.
And then like end of last year, I'm like, man, like we could have a good year this year. And so I was like, all right, let's do it.
You're in a good cash position. Very happy. Awesome. That's really
Our accounts receivable is high.
Where are we at? Yeah.
47th.
Yeah. Is that average though? For this time? For kind of your automations will help us out a lot.
Okay, good.
So like before we did automations for AR, we were at like we'd be between 50 and 70,000.
Okay.
And now we're between 10 and 15.
That's good.
And making twice as much.
Yeah.
And like so automations will really help with that.
Okay.
And then 2, just your verbiage on your invoices. Like try to make it 10 days due instead of 30.
Because we're 15. I just want to get everything to card on file. Like next year, across the board, it's gonna be card on file. Every month you get, or every week. Like.
And next year too, because SA just got bought by Clearant. You saw that, right? Clearant is gonna have much better rates, and you're gonna do ACH.
ACH is like what, 20 cents a transaction?
55 cents a transaction.
Okay, so like way less than
percentage. Yeah. So and you'll be able to put those on file, the same way you do a credit card now with BluePay.
Gotcha.
So
do you think you're gonna have trouble marketing that? Put an account on file?
No, it's like, hey, you can get 2% off by putting your thing on ACH. People will go for it all day.
Yes, and you're still making more.
Because they'll make 1% on their cash back, right? So, but then some people would rather just pay with the card, and that's fine. You just make it in your prices so it's higher.
Yep, I think like that was one of the things was this year, like when we've increased prices, we've increased them by like 1 to 2% on top of like just the standard price increase, because I figure then right now we're at 50% pay card on file, and I think we're probably about 80% pay with a card.
Okay.
Just
I don't want to buy anything.
Just click OK. It's iMovie Final Cut Pro. They always pop up, and I'm too lazy to figure out.
Okay, here you go. Wow, you had a strong August. And September. Well, you just been growing like crazy, dude.
Yeah. Like April was normal.
You haven't had a down month this whole year. Nice work. Yeah. Oh.
It's been a good year. We've had a lot of...
It's gonna be, the winter's gonna determine how good you do. So this is exactly like what ours is, because like during the winter, like these months here, your total income literally is 500, under $1,000 for 3 months, right? So that first quarter, do you need this?
No, I don't care.
Texted.
My mom?
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably important.
Yeah.
You keep talking.
You're fine.
Oh, she said she's happy. We're all good.
So like the problem is like, especially if you're gonna keep them busy during the winter, like this determines your profitability. So like, I know that like last year, our profit margin got tanked because we moved shops and I want to keep all the guys busy. And so literally these 3 months of the year, we lost a bunch of money, and it took us like another 3 months just to get back all that money.
Gotcha.
Because you're trying to keep the guys busy and it's not cheap. So the thing is, literally these 9 months will be determined, like probably over the whole year will be determined by these 3 months, hands down. Because you'll stay busy with cleanups in here.
Yeah.
And like landscaping jobs, this wall will be big, all of that. You'll probably do, I would imagine, probably 40,000 in October.
Yeah, that'd probably be fair.
So, because it'll come down off of September.
Yeah, August, September. But...
And then, you know, you'll get still, the thing is, your AR, you'll be collecting on it through December.
Yes.
And so people always have a ton of money coming in December because number one, we're not working as much because they're not as much work. But then you're collecting on the 45 grand you have owed to you.
Yes.
Which, by the way, is your profit right now.
Yes.
So the reason you feel like you don't have any money is because you have all
it's all there. It's just I don't have it yet.
It's all in AR.
Yes.
Right. So collecting on that is super important, and you can do the credit cards, but you're paying a percentage of that, and you're probably paying $2,500 a month. No, like $2,000.
Well, the bulk of this, we do
in credit card processing fees.
Yeah, we do probably $15,000 to $20,000 a month in 15 probably a month in cards. Okay. The rest of it comes through checks from landscaping. We don't do cards for landscaping.
Got it.
Because we did our first one because they really wanted the points. I said fine. And I just
you mean landscaping? You don't do cards?
Correct. Yes, no cards because
50% down with a check or something like that.
Yeah, we've been doing. Originally, I did like like on our big job that was 30. We did $2,500 up front, just hold spot. Start working on materials, and then we did whatever's left, half up front the day we start, and half to finish.
Okay.
So that way, like non-refundable deposit just to hold your spot on the schedule. Like, could we do more? Yes. Did I feel like adding that barrier to entry?
People will not wink on it.
Really?
Never. We've never had a single person.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so we added. So we were at where you were at. Our biggest landscaping job had been 10 grand.
Okay.
And then we had done 8 grand one, and then besides that, it was like 2 grand. And this is right when Josh was coming on.
Okay.
And so we were starting to think about landscaping more. And so we were of the opinion that same thing, like if we ask for a check, it's just another barrier.
Yep.
Right? Like, okay, we get an estimate, but they got accepted, and then like, I just want to go for it.
Yeah.
But, and then so we started doing these bigger jobs, and the account receivables just gets racked up.
Yep.
We had accounts receivables up to 120 grand. And I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so, because we're super profitable, but literally you feel like you have no money. And so, 50% they will not wink a bit. 50% to get on the schedule. Put it on your estimate. They will not wink a bit. Because if you have a 50% margin on a landscaping job, and you collect 50% up front, it essentially means you never have to bankroll anything. You get 50% up front. Say it's a $100,000 job. You get 50 grand. You can literally do the entire job with that 50 grand and not be in the hole.
Correct.
So even if they don't pay for 6 months, God forbid, like you still will not, nothing's off your back. Whereas if you get 25 and then like yours, you're still good because as long as you get the 60% before you break even, like the shovel, that's great. Yeah. But having 50 like 4 weeks in advance gives you so much leverage because what you do is you sell a bunch of jobs in spring when everyone's wanting them, and you're booking out, and you're getting all this cash that you need to go do advertising and hire people. Instead of just getting the 25 and then getting the money, you still get it from the job perspective.
Yeah.
But when you can get money 4, 6, 8 weeks in advance, a big chunk of it, it gives you a huge amount of latitude to go hire people. Because otherwise, you're doing the spring thing, right? You're advertising, spending a bunch of money. You're trying to hire people and train them. They're unprofitable.
Yep.
And you have a bunch of money going out, and you can't ever get ahead of it. And so the same way is with accounts receivable is just the upfront collections, right?
Yep.
So, but no, like this will be the absolute determinant this year.
Yes.
If you create work, if you do cleanups, like if you don't, I know you hate cleanups, but if you do them just during those months, even to keep the guys busy and just make revenue. It'll, right? So like when he mentioned in the spring about the pay, like that you start with a bonus and it gets chipped away as like mistakes are made and things. What was your apprehension to that?
What did I think about that whole thing?
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that's like a realistic, like, you know, like if you make an obvious mistake, I'd say that should only apply to like careless mistakes. You know, like, you know, everyone's human. Y'all make mistakes every once in a while. Like I'll be the first to admit I've made mistakes. I mean, but I don't choose to make mistakes.
Have you broken any windows yet?
Yeah. No.
You guys haven't broken any windows?
We haven't broken any windows.
Pretty impressive.
I've hit a golf ball once
kidding.
and I was scared that it was
We haven't since I've ever been home.
But yeah, I do agree with that.
They come in bunches.
But I think that it should only apply to essentially just careless, you know, like somebody being lazy and just hands down, just, you know, that shouldn't happen. But, you know, mistakes happen, and I feel like that's just part of a business, you know, like that just happens. But I agree with that,
I think it's like, where do you draw the line on what's careless and what's not?
That's the hard part.
Oh, I know. And like,
because sometimes like people make honest mistakes every single day.
Yes.
Josh is laughing because he knows what I'm talking about. It's like they have good explanation. It makes sense, but like they're super accident prone.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, one mistake on a mowing route wipes all profit for that whole day.
Oh yeah, like there's not enough. Like, you break a window, like you lost your profit for the year on that job.
It's true, the year on the job.
And that's the trouble. And like the thing I hate is like on the bonus thing, like if we're chipping away at it, we're chipping it away at it, then every single time there's a careless mistake, I feel like I am single-handedly just taking from them. That's
why I hate the taking.
Yes.
Like if you can make it where it's adding, it's better.
Do you have a video on the pay performance stuff?
Yeah. Like I've been talking about a lot.
Yeah, I've heard it. I just haven't seen like anything direct.
But like here, I'll show you the actual system we use.
That's QuickBooks. That's not.
Oh, tricky. What is this? Oh, I see. Gee, man, you got a lot of tabs open.
Oh, when I have my dual monitors going, it's like 20 tabs at a time.
So, So, ours is 100% pay for performance, but there's like a hybrid you can do.
Okay.
Where they have an hourly rate, but then if they make the business so much extra per pay period, they get a bump per hour, right?
Gotcha.
And it can be as simple as like, look, okay, if you make $15 an hour, great. But if you make the business X amount in the week, which is easily trackable on Summer's Autopilot, which you'll get figured this winter, budgeted hours and what you're charging every job. And if they beat that, then they get like, you can bump it up to 18. Right? Going from 15 to 18 is $3 more per hour. That's $120 more per week. If they are producing $300 or $400 more for the business, you can easily afford $120.
Yes.
And what that allows it to happen is someone like Cole, who wants more money, has been here for longer, whatever, thinks he deserves it maybe, he can prove it.
Yes.
Right? And then you also have someone that comes in here and was like, I want $20 an hour, and you're like, dude, you've been breaking stuff all the time. You're like, you're slow, you're on your phone all the time. It's like, just prove it. Like, go out and make the money, and then you can have the rate, like the raise. So the hybrid model is easier. Right? You have an amount they need to hit, and if they're on landscaping jobs, it's based on budgeted hours. Right? Like if you hit budgeted hours or below on all your jobs this week, you get like a $2 bonus, whatever it is. At the end of the day, it cuts out a ton of stuff. Like loading up, unloading, gas stations, bathroom breaks, cell phones, and more importantly, like the big thing we didn't implement it for a long time was because culture. I thought it'd be like tearing everybody apart because they wouldn't want to help people. They wouldn't want to. They'd always be like trying to find ways to make more money.
Yeah.
But what happened is it eliminated the people that were already a drag on the culture of like the people who sit in the truck and are just absolute, just sapping the system.
Yeah.
The people who went like took 5 breaks. I don't have to track them anymore on the trucks to like see if they're staying on task. Like what you talked about, like, okay, someone does 2 lawns when you know they could have done 8 in that amount of time.
Yeah.
It's so infuriating because you don't know what they were doing. You don't want to convict them because they're nice, but like on the other hand, it's like we're never going to make any money. I can't give you a raise if you're doing 2 jobs and you should be doing 8.
Yes.
Why not have it where they're getting paid based upon the 2 jobs, right? And so the thing is, it is more time. You said the reason you didn't want to do it is because it takes more time. It takes more time to create the system, to figure out budget hours, all those things. Like the hybrid model is easy. Yeah. Have 2. They basically have 2 different pay rates. You either make your base rate, whatever that is. You could make it solid too. Everyone here makes $14 an hour. If you make X amount more per week for the company on your pay period, it'll go up to 18. I promise you, people will work their butts off to get to 18. And even if you make it, this is the thing, you don't even have to make it where it's unattainable. You want them to make more. Yeah. So like even our last pay period, every single person made more than our base of 18. Every single person. Good. When the highest person made 40 something. Because like he did a landscaping job, he was half the budgeted hours. Like, that's not average. That's not average. Like
he lives in they're in Washington too, 15 an hour.
Yeah, no, the average was like 24. It wasn't like 40 is way high. But like it gives them the opportunity to do it. And when a job goes horrible, this is the thing. The culture now has been built on efficiency, that they're no longer like wasting time. They're shooting for something. And so even if they don't do well, they'll do it much more efficiently. So even if they don't do well on a job, even if it's raining and they're gonna be slower, they'll do it so much faster than comparative. Like when it's raining out, like our last 3 weeks, usually we have to need at least 2 or 3 more people just to like, get through the season when the grass just takes off in our area. Before, like after August is dormant, the rains come and it takes off for 3 weeks. Usually we need like 2 or 3 more people. Everyone's working like 50, 60 hours a week. But basically their production did not change because it was raining, horrible weather, but now they're getting paid to work, not sit in the truck, go take an extra. And that's what you watch on those weeks when there's bad weather. That's where you're losing all your money.
And it wasn't, so correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't that, like, did the mowing itself take the same amount of time? Like, did the actual time on property take about the same?
No, because it did take longer sometimes.
But they were done in less budgeted hours because they didn't spend the time rinky-dinking around.
It's the 2 minutes coming out of the truck, the 2 minutes getting back in the truck, the 4 minutes at the gas station instead of 1 minute. Like all of that added up over the course of a day adds up to 2 hours, which adds up to 3 more extra jobs they could have done, which adds up to $140, $150 for the business, which can add up to an extra $50 in their pocket. For $50 in their pocket, they'll work harder.
Yeah, I agree.
It's super nice to talk about. It's harder to implement.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's what no one does it. Because it does take time.
Yeah.
It takes time to educate them. It takes time more for just to figure out the numbers.
Yeah.
Right? And so like for us, this is what we use every day to figure out their pay for performance. So basically like our base pay is $18. They can't make less than that.
This is, like, I swear I watched all your videos and yet this is not one that I've like seen. And
the thing is like, so like at conference in January, I'll spend an entire day on this because it's one of those things that owners and employees will have question after question. Like if you explain this to guys, they're all gonna have the craziest questions in here and be like, what in the world? Yeah. Like they're gonna start coming like, okay, well what if so-and-so, like what if I'm a 2-man rap crew and so-and-so, my partner makes the mistake? That's when you say you're a team and, and you're both going back. Right? That being said, now they're gonna keep each other accountable. Like if someone's slacking off, you're gonna hear about it so fast. Like within weeks of us getting paid for performance, 2 people were gone because they just weren't gonna work in that system, right? And because everyone's gonna tattle them. Like all of a sudden we heard about them being on the phone for an hour and a half in the truck in the middle of the job and everyone else slaving. All of a sudden. Because now it's affecting, because if they're eating budgeted hours, it's affecting, Josh, it's affecting their pay. because now they're working, and that's what creates even a stronger culture.
Yep.
Now we're working as a team towards a common goal, which is both of us making more money and getting the jobs done faster.
Yeah.
So it actually creates a more of a camaraderie, not like I'm trying to get other people down.
I like it. I think it's very, like, makes sense. Like,
you've already done really most of the work, and that is making sure that all your jobs are on budgeted hours, and that all your numbers are in here. Because like, you've got to make it where when you multiply budgeted hours by your rate, you're going to come up with this number every time. Because
and most of them are, like, I have some, and I just, but it'd be easy to do.
And as soon as the thing about it is, as soon as you raise your prices, you're giving a third of that raise to them.
Yep.
Which then that's how you can dictate raises. But better yet, if someone comes in and say, "Hey, I'm only making like 16 bucks an hour. I think I'm worth 20."
Yeah.
You look at them and you say, "Okay, well, so and so's made 24, 23. Like, go learn from them.
Yeah.
Go research how to be more efficient. Go watch YouTube videos. Go research about grass. If you want to get into like, so we make the application side really profitable. Like they can make 30 plus an hour if everything goes right.
Yeah.
But it takes one burnt lawn, they're going back and spending an entire day to replace that lawn. But you're gonna have the craziest questions, man. Like if you try it next year, like I really think that you shouldn't grow a whole lot more next year. I think you should take 1 year, slow down, and build up cash reserves, so you don't have to keep scaling and you're working to the point of like exhaustion slash financial, like on the edge. Which you're doing really good from a cash flow perspective, like money in the bank and stuff. You're doing really good.
Good.
Like from a like risk analysis, you're doing fine.
Good.
Your company has more cash in the bank than a company. I just looked at their financials. They do $1 million plus, and they have 400,000 in debt, and they literally have $4 grand in the bank. So you're doing okay on that side, like the risk side of things. But I think in terms of like, if you really want to scale it, I'd get a little more cash flow. By raising the prices, implementing a system for pay for performance so that you have consistent profitability. Even if you make less, I would much rather make a consistent 24%, 21, 22% margin on all my work than I would then make 50% on one job and then 15 on another and then 60 on another and 2% negative on another. Like I'd much rather be always consistent, even if I make less. I'd much rather make a little bit less, but know it's gonna happen all the time. And then now you don't have to manage them as much. You can give him a job, and he's gonna be kicking his butt to make it as soon as possible, most efficiently, coming up with creative ways. Like the reason the guy made $40 an hour last time is because he got super creative with moving the material. He got the blocks in the back like in like some amazing fashion. I wasn't there, so I can't actually explain it. But the estimator's like, I didn't even think about it. The customer hadn't even mentioned that, and he came up with a brilliant idea to get the blocks in the back faster. So he deserves $40 an hour. He would not have thought about that if he was getting paid an hourly rate.
He wouldn't have cared.
He wouldn't have cared. He'd been like, oh, I'm getting paid by the hour. I want this job. If you pay by the hour, you're paying them. The longer the job takes, the more money they make.
Which is the complete
opposite of how you're getting paid.
Yeah, that is.
So if you slow down the growth next year by raising the price of the mowing.
You're just cheesing over there at this idea.
I absolutely love it.
This would be then, like, if we do this next year, then it would be something like you would need to help me with.
I'm fine for that.
All right, good.
And even if you start a hybrid, which would be, all right, let's say a third is, if they average, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Basically, you need a number that they would hit if they make the business X amount per day. So this crew, for example, made $415 each for the company. You could say if you make over $400 per day for the company on mowing crew, because this is really easy in service autopilot to keep math, then you're gonna make an extra $2 an hour. For example, that's 16 bucks if they work the whole day. All right. Now for landscaping, it's like, okay, you got budgeted hours. For every hour underneath budgeted hours, you're gonna make X amount of dollar bonus.
In landscaping, it's a bonus instead of an hourly, because that's
it's still based on hours though, right? Because the faster he goes, the more money he's gonna make. Right?
Yep.
And that's a quick hybrid way that you can like implement within a couple weeks. Something that is like no skin off their back. They're not gonna lose anything. Even if you say, look, your hourly is staying the same, but you have the potential to make an extra 2 or 3 an hour based upon the budget hours. It's 100 hours budgeted on the job. There's and they beat it by 30 hours. There should be a dollar amount per hour. That's like a hybrid way of doing it. And then I would, the push is always to go full performance.
Yes.
Because they have unlimited cap potential. Like,
unlimited potential.
If he's kicking butt and he's like, okay, I have beaten this by 20 budgeted hours. I can kind of slow down and still beat it by 10, and I'll still be fine and get a bonus.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas if he's like, I know that if I beat this by 30, I can then go get another job and make an extra $50 today and hop, that's how they start to think.
Yeah.
And that's the way you're getting paid.
Yeah,
because otherwise the tension is always they want more and you want to give them less from a financial standpoint. I know you want to give them more.
Simply put, yes.
From a financial standpoint, I always wanted to give them more. At the end of the day, it's like financially, you cannot pay someone over $20 an hour to start mowing lawns, even in our market. Like, we can't. It will not work, right? But I can afford to pay them 23, 24 if they are
earning it,
like incredibly efficient.
Yeah, that is.
And you can make efficiency one of two ways. You either get nicer trucks, better equipment, no trailers, doing the ramp thing. That's one way to do it. Or you literally, for free, make a system that manages the biggest expense, which is labor. It's not gas. It's not fuel economy. You're not going to save yourself thousands of dollars a month on fuel economy with a few trucks. Correct. You're going to save me $100.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the fastest way to do it.
And it's incentivizing them.
And gives them opportunity to grow. Like, if he wants to make $25 an hour, he can figure out how to beat budgeted hours and get really efficient at building walls and moving material around better. And
do your budgeted hours then, so you're consistently beating a job by 10 hours.
You mean landscaping?
Like, yeah, so you're consistently beating say you got 5 retaining walls, similar spec. You're beating them by, you do one in each month.
Yeah.
One in May, they beat it by 20 hours. Are you adjusting then that, ooh, man, they got that one done really quick. Let's see what they do the next one. They beat it by 22. Are you then knocking that one instead of being at 80 hours and you're only budgeting them at 60?
Yep. So that's why, for us, the estimator is also getting paid based upon if they're beating budgeted hours. Because I want the employees to beat budgeted hours.
Yep.
Because they can make more.
Yep.
I want the estimator I want to make sure he gives them enough hours, right? So because otherwise he can say he knows it's going to take an 80, but he'll just say 60, so that they're not going to make as much.
Yep.
And
he can get the job,
right? So that's why I talked on that one time on the one episode about commissions.
Yep.
Never on top line revenue.
Yes.
Because he'll sell jobs all day long at a lower budgeted hours and make them super mad. And the customer is left with people running around trying to get work done because they just try to hit budgeted hours.
Yeah.
So I make sure he's getting paid. His pay is tied to that as well. The thing is, if you're cutting hours, like as the owner, it gets tricky. They have to trust you a little bit. But the bottom line is, you just have to get enough work to keep them busy. So what it means is, if you're booked out 5 weeks, you want to get them more hours. You're making money on the budget hours.
Yes.
Like, if they're always below budget hours, you're not making money.
Correct.
Right? You're making money if they're hitting budget hours. So it's not like everything, if they beat budget hours, is going to them. They're only making a third of it.
Yes.
You're making money too.
Yes.
Right? So you want them to be budget hours.
Yes.
Right? So, first of all, that's the main thing. You want them to be budget hours, makes you more money. Secondarily, if you budget too high on hours, you're not going to be able to sell any jobs.
Yep.
Right? So that's the balance.
Yep.
And so that's the balance of my estimator. He knows he has to keep people busy. And I do not want them, I want to have at least 2 weeks booked out. So he knows if we're hitting out like 1, he is going to be tighter on hours. He's going to be, instead of giving him 80, he'll give him 72.
Yep.
Like, he'll be a little bit tighter because he knows his job is to schedule them out.
Yeah.
Because I'll get on his case if we start getting the 3-4 days booked out.
Yeah.
Now, if we're 5 weeks booked out and he's starting to bid jobs that are tight, I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. You're leaving money on the table for the guys and for the company, right? Because you're 5 weeks booked out, you do not need that job. No. You can go in there and instead of 80, budget 88, give the guys a little extra money. Yep. And then make the company extra money. Sure. Right. Sure. And so you really allow the budget hours. Yes, you have systems in place to get what you need, but then you allow it to fluctuate based upon how much you want the job. Right.
Gotcha.
And that's usually going to be dictated by how much work you have.
Correct. Correct.
So in the winter, you probably budget a little more aggressively.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it's a 72.
Yep.
But in the middle of summer, when you have 8 weeks booked out, you're probably going to budget 88. If they accept, great. It means the guy's getting a little extra.
Yeah. It's a little mental gymnastics here. Going through a workout. It's all like really good shit though.
I would say though, like that's actually lower priority in terms of easiness.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that will change your business.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'd say the easier steps is raise your prices next year on the mowing because you're not passionate about anyways. You feel like that's your lower margin stuff.
Yep.
I feel based upon the numbers that I've seen, when you institute pay for performance, mowing is the part that gets the biggest boost because that's where the most inefficiencies are wrapped up in. Because they're most in and out of the truck, the most in and off, on and off the phone, the most driving around. And that's where the efficiencies are gained. Usually if you have a good worker on a landscaping job, they're just working hard no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're just gonna be working hard. They're gonna figure out, they're usually more creative in how they do things in terms of like not just head down grind. It's like how do we get creative about making this work? But the efficiencies of mowing takes you from a 5 to 10% margin on mowing to 25 plus. Like that's the difference on mowing because there are just so many inefficiencies that are baked into driving, on phones, equipment stuff, and so callbacks, all of that. Like a callback right now,
sucks.
You send someone back, they're getting paid. The longer they take on that callback, the more money they make. Unless they're on another job where they're breaking their back, right? Right now our callbacks are like, they are flying in there. And they're trying to figure out too, like, can I route my callback into my next route? Like, can I cut tomorrow, can I drive by that person's house, have 2 gallons of soil and some seed and fix the skid mark? Instead of, oh, I have a callback, it's 5:30. I'm gonna drive 30 minutes to the customer's house, spend an hour doing it, and drive 30 minutes back, and now you just paid them 2 hours on the clock, when that's a job they could have done in probably 15 minutes if they would have done it on a route the next day. So they start thinking more like that.
Yeah.
You know, and because of that, you can pay them more. They've earned it.
Yeah.
Like, if people are like, oh, you can't pay people 23. No, they earned it. Like, they are the ones who worked their butt off. And it puts you in the position where the really good employees can make more at your company. The really bad ones get cut out. It's really easy to distinguish. If I see someone at 18, 3 or 4 times in a row, I'd cut them. We haven't had anyone do that, but like, you know that someone's just tagging along. They're just hoping they get with a good person that's working and they get a little money that day. Right?
That is, I really like that.
So that's like the end goal. I'd say for next year, I'd really recommend scaling growth back by, you know, so instead of 500-600, I'd shoot for like 350. But on that 350, make 100 grand. Right? In the bank cash. Right? And then the next year, you know, implement the system of pay performance as you get in the next year. So that way you have a consistent profit margin so that when you scale, you now have a predictable margin that doesn't change. Because with growth, usually you have higher overhead, therefore your margin slips. And so people get into 250, 300, they're really profitable. They jump to 600, 700, but their overhead jumps. That's trucks, equipment, employees. Now you got to get a shop, things like that. You know, overhead jumps, and now they're not making any more money than they were when they're smaller. But if you institute pay for performance, where you have a set amount of percentage going to labor, that's like you've taken the biggest variable of our industry, labor, and made it constant. The same way that your materials are constant, the same way that your shop and your utility, everything is constant, the biggest variable is always your labor. If you can standardize that, you can predictably grow and know you're going to make money. And so I would do that year after next, once you've instituted that system first.
Absolutely. Dang.
Because I feel like if you grow to 600, 700 next year without changing much, you're going to have still 60 something grand in the bank. You'll still have 50, 60,000, you know, 40, $50,000 in AR. It'll be pretty much the same place. You'll have more stuff, and you'll be like stressed out of your brains, but like you won't have a whole lot to be showing for it. And it's harder at 600 and 700 to implement pay for performance because now you have 10 employees and you got to get them all on board. Whereas if you can get people like Cole, Jake, some core couple guys that like believe in the system, they're 100% on board, they're paid more than they can go make somewhere else. There's no one else that can pay them that hourly consistently. You're going to keep them, and everyone that comes underneath them is going to buy into the system or get out fast.
Gotcha.
Like he's going to kill anyone that comes in and is super slow on his projects because now it's affecting his paycheck.
He already does. Like, that's a good thing. But yes, like you would be incentivized to be like that.
Yeah, and if someone wants to be on their phone all day, great. You're just not going to make any money here. And so that's your decision. Like,
yeah.
And so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, like, I don't even care. Like, go ahead and stop at a gas station. You be on your phone if it's important to you enough.
Yeah.
It's their decision now.
Yep.
But now it's not off my back. It's 100% on them if they want to make more or less.
Yeah. Dang.
So, anyways, that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
In terms of like making them feel appreciated, it's leaning on them more.
Okay.
Right, leaning on them more. Money talks at the end of the day. Like, we're all here to make money. And so that's a big part of it. Like, if they see you making a bunch of money and they're not having the opportunity to make a lot of money, not necessarily that they have to be making more, but the opportunity to make it, whether it be learning about landscaping. So for example, I know our crews, mowing crews, they have a little bit of a smaller range. Like, they're gonna be getting between, you know, base 18 and like 27.
Yeah.
There's not, like, you gotta be killing it to make more than 27 on mowing.
Yeah.
I know for a landscaping guy, he can make like up to 40.
Yep.
You know, if he's doing really good. What that incentivizes them to do is it gives them the opportunity to learn and grow within the business. If I'm starting off with a base mowing guy, I don't have a cap on them. Like, they can make infinite amount of money, but like usually it starts capping out at 27, 28. So like they can stick around for a year or two, you know, be with Aaron or a project manager, learn something, watch a YouTube video, figure out something in the winter and learn, and then they can move more landscaping stuff.
Where they have the possibility to make more money.
Yeah, and if they're new and they're just figuring it out, so like there was a job last week, we went a little bit over budget hours, but I know the guys were figuring out a wall block that we don't hardly use. Yeah. And so on the next project, they'll kill it.
Yes.
They're not really used to doing bases for walls, but now they'll have that skill. And so you didn't have to train them. They were able to learn it. They were as efficient as they possibly could be. They were a little bit over budget hours. They didn't like make a killing, but it allowed them to learn. And so now they'll be able to grow with the business, and maybe down the road they'll get the same job, and instead of taking 70 hours on a 64, they'll take 50 on a 64.
And they make that back.
And they make that back.
Yep.
Right? So it makes appreciation, I think, come in a big part is the money. Like, we can talk about culture all day long, but like if we're making a bunch of money and we don't give them the opportunity to make more, it's just a weird
It's an imbalance. It's a
And like, you're not like, it's not like you're rolling in the dough. You don't have like this massive house and like you're not like lavishly spending your money. So like, you don't have that problem. And like for myself, every penny that made in profit is going towards the growth of the business, which is going to give them an opportunity to grow with the business. Right? So like Josh started 3.5 years ago. Like, there's no way 3.5 years ago I'd be able to afford to bring a camera guy with me. Right? But I knew what his passion was. I know if he'd stay with the business, we'd be able to put him in a spot down the road. And so the goal is like, how do we create that as high as possible? Right? Like, how do I take someone new and not just give them like, okay, now you're a mowing manager, and that's like the farthest they can go. Maybe now it's like you can take landscaping jobs. You know, how far do you want the business to go to where you can keep someone in the business growing? To where now, okay, now you're managing 3 jobs. Now you're managing a crew. Now you're doing the estimates. Like, how far up do you want to go? Right? And so if you're pouring the money into that, they appreciate it. Because they know that you're building the business for them. And like, obviously you're going to make more money. Like, that's just whatever. But being honest and open with them how much that is and everything is really useful too. Like in November 5th, we're having our team meeting. Liz texted out today. So we're having our offsite meeting. We do it twice a year. And I'll show them our whole P&L, how much money is in the bottom line, where we spent money. They'll see that a bunch of the money went to 2 things, and one is the new shop that we built, and then the second thing is the franchise, because we invested a bunch in that, and that franchise is built so that I can do things like this, so that we can, down the road, not if someone's getting older, they don't have to stay in the field, they can maybe sell franchises, or they can go do training for franchisees and their crews, and pay for performance, stuff like that. And so they're seeing that, okay, the money that's being made here is being invested into the future opportunity for me. And then they start to see where your success is aligned with their success.
Gotcha.
Right?
So, all right, so next year you're saying like raise rates, curb mowing, like
then focus on landscaping. I would,
I think, and I don't know, I think, and that's the thing is I don't know, like implement pay performance, maybe I am like, dang, mowing is great, like let's just pack it on. But right now it's like, we're seeing.
I don't think you need to push either one. Like, it's gonna be pretty natural. If you raise the prices of mowing, you're gonna lose a couple customers. Less people are gonna accept, right? So it's gonna naturally curb that. Then you're going to have more time to focus on landscaping, And so you're going to naturally get more customers. If so-and-so across the street today, that wall starts falling apart, you're going to get that job.
Yep.
So it's just going to be a natural, it becomes very natural. I wouldn't like try to think about which one you're going to push or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Or like, oh, I need to buy more equipment because I want the landscaping to be better. No, like just let it'll do its thing. Let the pricing kind of dictate that. No.
Gotcha, we can do that. Sounds good.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Yep, thank you.
It's fun meeting you.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll stay in touch.
Please.
And then I guess I won't.
Where are we at right now?
We're in Missouri. We're on our way to. Where are we going?
Jet something.
Try that again. We're just stopping in Missouri. We're on our way to Illinois. We just left Iowa. We're gonna be headed over to Jessica Darr and her husband, and try to help them tomorrow. We'll have to redo that all.